Now, for the past year, I've been riding with a suspension seat post on my gravel bike. This post was made by P&W and it's called the Coast Dropper Post. It's a combo of a dropper post and seat post suspension, giving you the ability to add and remove air from either two different chambers. The one chamber will affect how it handles whenever you're using it as a dropper post, and the other chamber will be used to adjust the suspension. Now, this particular setup can use 40 millimeters of its travel for suspension, which is pretty impressive for a dropper post. Now, there are a few things about this that I just haven't been super happy with over the last year. Number one is just the extra weight that this adds. I find that I don't really ever use the dropper post, so I'm really only using the suspension on this. And secondly is the extra cabling and housing and the dropper post lever up front. It just adds extra weight and complexity to the overall system. Now, after trying the P&W model, I was really excited to try out the Redshift Endurance suspension seat post. Redshift makes 3 different models right now for their suspension setup. This standard endurance model, a pro endurance, and then also a pro race model. I'll give you more details on all the different models here in just a minute. But real quick, I want to tell you about today's sponsor. This video is brought to you by Upway.co. If you're looking for your next new or used e-bike, you're going to want to check out Upway.co. Over there, they sell new and certified e-bikes that go through a vigorous 50-point inspection in their warehouse over in Brooklyn, New York. And the best part is their prices are unbeatable and you can get all kinds of brands just like this Aventon Ramblus. And personally, I think this is a great choice for anybody wanting to go green and pick up their next e-bike. Now, shopping on Upway couldn't be easier. Over on Upway.co, you can browse their massive inventory on their website, actually see photos of the bike that you're going to be purchasing, read customer reviews, and get detailed descriptions on every single bike. And also, all their bikes come with a 1-year warranty, and whenever you order them, you typically get them within 1 week right to your door. And all of their bikes can come either 99% or 85% put together, all depending on the shipping method that you choose. Now, maybe you're not ready to buy your next bike, but you have an e-bike that you want to sell. Well, Upway offers that also, and they make it super simple. It only takes 3 minutes to fill out their form, and whenever you decide to sell it, they will come and pick it up right at your door. So if you're ready to buy your next e-bike or sell your e-bike, you're definitely going to want to check out Upway.co. Thank you, Upway, for sponsoring this video. This particular one is the endurance model that I've been using for the past couple of months. It comes in at $229 and offers 35 millimeters of travel that is controlled through spacers and a spring setup. On all 3 models, you can adjust your seat just like as if it was a normal seat post. On the back here, you'll have this little tiny mud guard. This prevents any debris from your back tire coming up into where any of the moving parts are. Now, this little guard is attached a couple of different ways. It's got a little string that holds it on in case it comes loose, but it primarily connects with magnets, and it's pretty satisfying whenever you click it into place. And you'll remove this mud guard whenever you want to have access to the seat bolts to make adjustments to your seat. Now, if we look at the bottom of the seat post, this is where it gets a little bit different. You're going to have a preload adjustment on here. So if you find the ride to be a little bit too soft, you can increase the preload and make this a little bit more firm, or you can loosen it up, all depending on the feel that you're looking for out on the road. Also, on the preload adjustment, they put these little holes on the bottom that you can slide an Allen key in to make it a little bit easier to turn and adjust this preload. But really, once you get this set, you never have to worry about it. The endurance model comes with 2 springs. The main spring is pre-installed, and the extra one you'll have to install if you want to get just a little bit firmer ride, or if you're a 200+ pound rider, they're going to recommend going with the extra spring. That way the suspension works as designed. Redshift has a really nice chart in the instruction manual that tells you all the different setups that you can possibly have based on your rider weight and how you want the suspension to feel. The system is complex, yet super simple. And it's built pretty tough to not fail on long rides. I installed my endurance model on my Ride One Up CF Racer e-gravel bike for the past several months, and I have mine set up with just the mainspring and also the preload set to number 3. And personally, this feels really good for me. Now, this isn't going to give you the comfort of, say, a full suspension mountain bike would, but for a gravel bike, this thing really smooths out the rough sections and doesn't leave you feeling beat up and fatigued like a normal seat post can after a really long ride. I find this item to be one of those items that you just have to try to fully understand how amazing it is. Now, as for the differences between the 3 models, now if you want the most plush ride, the endurance model is going to be the model for you. At 35 millimeters of travel and a lighter spring rate, it's going to be super smooth. If you need it to be a little bit more firm or you want it to be a little bit lighter, the Pro Endurance has the same travel, but will give you a sportier ride and give you the ability to change out springs plus elastomers. Not only that, this weighs an impressive 13% less than the standard endurance model. Then if you are a pro racer or a road bike rider, you might want to check out the Pro Race version. This gives you only 20 millimeters of travel, but it's going to weigh 25% less than the standard endurance model. This model is definitely made more for road riders than it is going to be for gravel riders. Now, the most common seat post size on a gravel bike and a road bike is definitely going to be 27.2 millimeters, and all 3 models come in that. But the endurance model will also come in other sizes. So if you have something other than a gravel bike or a road bike standard size, you're definitely going to want to check out the endurance model, as the race and the pro endurance aren't going to be offered in anything other than 27.2. Now, as for price, these are pretty expensive, but they're definitely well worth it. The endurance model is going to start you out at $229. The Pro Endurance is going to go up to $279, and then the Pro Race is going to get you all the way up to that $299 mark. Now, Redshift gave me a coupon code to let you guys use on your next purchase over at their website. That coupon code is going to be down in the description, so you guys are going to want to check that out if you want to save 15% off on any non-sale item on their website. So they also have more than just their suspension seat posts. They have suspension stems, and they have some really cool drop bars. You guys are definitely going to want to check out Redshift's website. Again, the link and the coupon code are all below in the description. Now, my overall thoughts on owning a Redshift endurance seat post over the last several months is this is an absolute game changer, specifically for gravel bikes. Now, if I was a road bike rider and I wanted to get a little bit smoother ride, I would really be looking at the race version instead of the endurance or the pro endurance, because you don't want it to have as much bounce. You want it to be a little bit more firm on a road bike. But with a gravel bike, you're hitting up so many rough roads. This thing really smooths it out. So much so that I have a Pro Endurance that I'm going to be installing on my regular analog bike to replace that P&W Coast Dropper post. And I think it's going to make a world of difference. I'm going to be taking on a 65-mile gravel ride down in Arkansas this year. So I'm really hoping that the Pro Endurance model really helps me out on that ride. And based off my experience with the Endurance model on my e-gravel bike, I think it's going to make a world of difference. Now, one more important thing, if you have Shimano Di2 shifting and you have a battery in your down tube, Redshift has these set up to where they are compatible. All right, guys, if you're looking for a more comfortable ride, whether you're on gravel, road, or you take this out on some single track trail, you're going to want to check out Redshift. I'm super impressed with it. And don't forget, if you guys want to pick up any Redshift product, get that coupon code down in my description. Save yourself 15% off on any non-sale item. And if you guys have enjoyed this review, make sure you hit that subscribe button because I've got videos like this coming out every single week. All right, guys, as always, get out there and ride your bike.